Good morning and welcome back to When Pigs Fly. I am Patty and I am here with Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Okay, so in our last episode, we were talking a little bit about buzzwords and also holding space in the topic of the word love came up. And we're going to dig in on this because for some people, love can be a trigger. The word love has a negative connotation. And Tracy is going to share with us a little infinite intelligence, which is our topic today. And she's going to talk to us about a download that she got basically and her beautiful hack for this. So you want to listen to this one. Tracy, it's all you.
Hello. Thank you, Patty. So this is kind of a two-pronged subject, and both of the material is very juicy and expansive. So I originally started playing with the fact that this knowing that love, the word love, was limited, which sounds crazy because I believe that in our English language, love is one of the most expansive, beautiful, pure words that we have. So to even kind of wrap your head around how can the word love be limiting is a little bit of a brain jam there. But if we are moving more into the energy of feeling and knowing, this of course makes sense because as we know, words are not only limiting, but they also, what I say, can be contaminated. And that means because we all insert our own definition and variations of definition on every single word, every single concept out there. That is just how it is. No two people feel, see, know any word the same way. So once we know that, we're kind of okay with having this expansive way of communicating and exchanging intelligence, let's say. So I started for myself using to put words on this feeling, like what does love feel like? Or let's just say, what is the most expansive, beautiful thing that we can tap into that is nurturing and nourishing and safe and calm and peaceful, loving? So that's kind of where I went with it. And I started using the word golden energy because, we do still use words for the most part. And then you can expand this out when you're working on yourself or working with others or where you show up to just bring in this amazing essence. It's just this amazing essence. Again, with what word do we put on this? Because words can't even express the magnitude of what it all is. And I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to jump in. I'm just going to give a little teaser for the next part 2 of this conversation is it also made me aware of how there is such a amazing availability of higher intelligence coming in. And again, I use that word. It's what works for me. And it's one of those things, channels, direct channels. They're channeling universal higher intelligence. When I start the day, I always say, let me be the purest, clearest come from that I can have when I'm in conversation, when I come with my energy. I ask to be kept clean, kept neutralized, kept clear, kept in high integrity. And you'll start to notice that it becomes more effortless because you are allowing the higher intelligence, which is you. You are that higher intelligence to be in the forefront of who you are as a human being. So, and I love to say crazy ways that, what is she talking about? Okay, let's just say we all have a fractal of us that is alien, that is higher intelligence. And we have all these pieces and parts, and they all are operating at different percentages of our life, that we're bringing that higher intelligence piece of us to the forefront. So that is the majority of what is coming forward in this human body and our human experience. It's pretty cool. And you might have to think about it a few ways. And I want to give an example later on. I want you guys to jump in, but I'll give you an example of how I experienced it in my own world, which was crazy cool. But I'll let you guys jump in on the 2 topics first.
I just
I
want to
love
say
this.
the energy of love, like, when you were saying how could it be limited, and you described it so perfectly, because nobody's going to feel it the same way, nobody's going to do whatever. But I'm going to sort of go back to the last episode, where when we were actually, I think it might have was probably 2 episodes ago, whatever, when we were talking about the whole part of the energy aspect, and how it's, affecting people, and how, and getting into that space of neutrality, and all of that. And what dropped down when you were talking about that stuff was, if everybody's sitting in that place of neutrality, if you can say neutrality, love, whatever you want to call it, okay, and you're sitting, you have all conversations, they're really sort of asking us and inviting us to have all conversations, start to practice that I'm going to be in neutrality today. So when you wake up and you say, okay, look, I'm going to be in neutrality today, and everything that happens, because let me see it, let me feel it. Not that you have to say this part, they're saying just neutrality. Let me see it, let me feel it in this infinite wisdom. Okay, it's how they're actually, bringing it in. So, and you're feeling it at that point, there's not a judgment. You're not coming from the place of what love means to you, or what, this person, is saying in this heated argument, because you don't understand what I'm saying. When you're in neutrality, that can't happen, they're saying. When you're in that place, because you're raising that vibrational rate and everything of who and what you are into this beautiful space, that they're saying, if a certain number of people in the world get it, all of a sudden, boom, everything gets. And I think we all know that aspect. But they're saying that's where we're going. That's what we're doing. And that infinite wisdom and that infinite possibilities are right there. And they're saying, when that starts to shift and happen, your world and everything that you've thought, or you've concerned yourself and worried yourself with, well, I don't know my life purpose, I don't know this, I don't know this, I need to do this, I want to do this. All this stuff doesn't matter, because when you're in that space, you are literally just going with that natural flow of each aspect, and you're doing everything that you are in fun and enjoy. Because remember, and we've said this, a few times, this energy is all about fun and joy. When you're back into that fun and joy, your life is just going to flow with ease and with grace. If everything becomes so easy, and you're more out of your head, if that makes sense.
Totally. We're we're being called to feel again. And so you can use this language. I love this hack of, if you have a negative connotation, what does love mean to you? And then you shift that to, oh, bring in, you could set an intention every day of bring in golden energy. When, remind me, show me golden energy. So we remember, we have the ability to summon the energy we want. So if love makes you, is like, oh, I have a, and remember, also, this is important. I hear this with some clients. They say, no, but I didn't have a troubled childhood or whatever. I do. And I go, it doesn't matter. In this incarnation, we've brought in ancestral stuff too. So it may not even be your own personal negative connotation love. If it constricts you in any way, use golden energy. And we're, from an energetic standpoint, I want to build on what Tracy was saying, is, go for that feeling. Notice your own energy. We can all feel when we're constricted. And then you can go, ooh, I observe that. And you observe it, don't judge it. And then go, oh, okay, what can I swap this out with? And go more towards that feeling. And yeah, we're getting the upgrades that we're getting is making all of this infinite intelligence so much more accessible. It comes in so much easier. These are those aha moments in the shower where you
Mm.
go, "Ooh, that's a great idea." And then you go, "Where'd that come from?" Well, it came from you, from being in that place of neutrality. And that is, and it's funny, I think, when sometimes, like, I remember when I was first started this, my journey, it felt so far away. It was like a concept that was so far away. And then the more you get into the work, you realize, no, it actually is right. It's in your field. It's literally in your energetic field. And when you get to that neutrality and stop that constriction, you just allow yourself to blend. You kind of melt into it. I think we were talking about plasma. You like, you become the plasma, and that's that unity consciousness. It's that one energy. So I know this is a lot, but that's that's really is how this energy works. There's so many layers to it though too, but um having that awareness, having the awareness of, what does this word make me contract? And if it does, give it something that doesn't. What do you, like Renee says, cancel that and replace it with the opposite? Well, cancel that word for yourself, or not cancel it, but essentially find something that feels good, that gives the essence. We're talking about the essence, because love is actually a state of being, right? And some people attach it to an experience, a personal experience, which is usually idolizing someone or giving your power away. And so if that's you, give it a new definition, and roll with it. And I love golden energy, Tracy, because that's really what it looks like energetically, isn't it? So it's,
Mhm.
which is more important. It's more important what it looks like energetically and how you can receive that feeling.
Renee, did you have something? I saw your eyes going.
Yeah, no. Well, they were saying I am dying to hear what you're gonna say. I almost said to you then, no, tell us now. Tell us what you see now. But they said your breathing will be different. We've learned to breathe improperly. And even they're saying, when you're and I know nothing, this is like coming in. So because they're saying when you're breathing and everybody's like, okay, you take the deep breath in and you feel your belly going out, but they're saying that's not properly breathing. You'll feel your sides go out. They're saying you'll start to breathe that way. And they're sort of showing me like a fish. So I don't know, but
Gills.
they're saying, yeah, pay attention to the breathing and how you're receiving nutrients from the earth and everything, because they're saying that's this next piece that also is coming forward. But Tracy, I want to hear about this infinite intelligence. Let us go, girl.
Okay, so well, I want to, because before we move on, the energetic grids, we spoke about it last, I think, episode, but this is all coming together, because when the energetic grids, the magnetics are shifting, it's happening in the earth, like it's very palpable science. We're saying it, and this plasma energy is coming in. That's why everything changes, and that is why everything is so, it's just right there. It's so readily available. So I think it's good to side note that everything is different now, and it's going to exponentially change, which is what Renee just said. And it does have to do with the energy grid shifting and the plasma light coming in, which, okay, now on to the higher intelligence. If you've listened at all, everyone knows I love my facials and my massages. And I was getting a facial this past week, and I was getting it, and this is pretty much what you just said, Renee, that our definition and how we receive nutrition, nourishment, our definition of wellness, of health, and how we receive wellness and health, I strongly 100% believe it's changing for me, absolutely, because that's my choice and that's the reality I'm moving into and in. But so I'm getting my facial, and I'm excited to announce, I'll say here, Kate is going to be featured on our show. I don't know when, but coming up. So you'll get to meet Kate, who I'm speaking about. So I was sitting there, and her facials are an experience. They're transformative, because I truly believe she at some level has known and incorporated all of this into her being, into her energy, into her what she gives, and also is receiving from all of the earth elements that she is then giving to her. And I was sitting there getting a facial, and I was like, wow, this is like being at Cirque du Soleil. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Cirque du Soleil show. It's on the stage, and there's literally hundreds of things happening between people doing amazing things, and music and colors. And it's just, it's too much for our human brain and eyes to absorb. Like, you could probably go to the same Cirque du Soleil show, I don't know, thousands of times and see something different. It's the same thing with a symphony or an orchestra. There's just so many elements coming into this coherent beautifulness all at the same time. So as I'm getting my facial, I'm thinking, like, I'm having an even more expanded version and awareness of what's going on in this facial room, of the intelligence from all the fruits and the vegetables, and she's putting on clays, and her physical touch, the texture of what she's putting on me, heat, cold, the music, the energy grids that she's created in this room. So we've talked all this, which is fun and exciting, but all of a sudden I had this understanding of her higher intelligence communicating and collaborating with my higher intelligence. And this is where we start to get off the charts. And we can talk some crazy, but this was, oh my gosh, like what is going on? What is now available? This is even a lot for me to comprehend and work with. So I just sat there, received the treatment, worked with Kate's energy, worked with all the energy of the plants, worked with all the movements, the textiles, the sounds, the colors, everything going on. And then at the end of it, I said to her, I'm like, hey, Kate, is your higher intelligence at play all the time here? Like, do you know that there's a non-human, by our definition, element that you bring to every treatment? And she's kind of like, oh yeah, I know. Like, she'll never have an off day, because if she's tired or if she's got something going on in her mind, she, in my opinion, has trained, whatever word you want to use, her higher,
Mastery.
yeah, her
It's
mastery.
mastery.
It's freaking amazing. And here's another thing is like, oh my God, I get it now. And then I was joking off air with Renee and Patty of how many times am I going to say that to myself? Oh my God, I know it. Oh my gosh, I get it. And then 3 months later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it now. And then 3 months later, I'll be going, oh my gosh, I get it now. Which I'm just opening up this whole thing of, man, it's getting crazy and it's getting cool, and jump on, grab it, even if you don't even get it or can't even explain it. I know that was a lot. I didn't mean to go into the full on conversation of,
Well, it's happening, Tracy. It's happening, and what you're talking about too, and we've had some guests talk about this. I think John Burgos spoke about this, is that the elementals are now coming more online. So remember, we're all upgrading. And the reason most of us feel better, why we're saying get out in nature, is that we are connected to that energy, and we got into this separation and we got so far from it, and it's a healing energy. And again, the logical mind doesn't need to grasp it for us to benefit from it. So when we say go out and be in nature and sit, and you don't have to physically go hug a tree. You can be under, you can walk by a tree and get its energy. And you can, why do you think I think people who are good with plants, and you can see, I used to say I'm a plant killer. And then I was like, why on earth do you say that? When I stopped saying it, now I got these, I literally was putting that energy out there. And I was like, stop that. So really take in the energetics of nature and allow yourself to receive that energy. And again, you don't have to understand it, but anybody knows, like if you walk outside and you feel the warm sun on your face, that feeling of like that's energy. And what's happening now with, so we're receiving energy, it's awakening these seeds that of DNA that are already in us, and it's awakening and allowing them to expand. And that is what, Tracy, you were talking about quite literally, is co-creation. And it was co-creation on the infinite intelligence level, to where you weren't saying to her, hey, let's talk about the plants that are visiting right now, right? And there's animal energies. Renee was talking about gills in our sidebar, I think. And it's that's the mermaid energy that's coming back in. There's mermaid energy, there's dolphin energy. There's so many energetics that are getting expanded within us, and our connection to that. And again, don't try and tie your brain to it. But if you feel an awareness or you're drawn to that, know that you're drawn to it for a reason, and allow yourself to go with that, because that is helping you to heal and kind of integrate these new energies a lot easier. Yeah.
Well, and then I also want to say, Tracy, you had brought this up, and I think a lot of people, Kate certainly recognized, and she knew, and she holds that space, that she knew that the infinite intelligence was there, and she totally trusts and releases that. And we were talking about this, and I think Patty, you said it, on the sidebars, and that people are, a lot of you are actually working in that infinite intelligence without even recognizing it. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
And it's that part of just really beginning to have that trust and faith. And if you say, well, I don't have trust that this is going to happen or whatever, just start to say, oh, I now have trust. Like, okay, show me trust or help me to trust. You'll be amazed at what starts to happen, because we really are doing so many things, and that infinite intelligence drops in so quickly and so easily and so effortlessly, because It's bringing us back into who and what we truthfully are. Because, Tracy and Patty have both said, like, that's who we are. So it's that piece of when it comes in, I think a lot of people tend to feel or look for some sort of whatever. Oh, I'm going to have this huge aha moment, or I'm going to feel this big shift in my body, or now I'm going to recognize what I'm saying. You don't. It's when you're going back to who and what you truthfully are. It's such an easy shift. It's such an easy transition. And it's not even really a transition. It's just such an easy whatever that you just are that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something, we're really being invited to go back into the whole aspect of, look, I'm just going to sit and I'm going to be in my now. And when I say sit, I don't mean you're going to sit down and like be in your now, but just like start to put that out there that I'm in my now and in my infinite intelligence in all I do, and or all I say or do, whatever. We got to start putting the proper energy out. There's so many people out there that are, well, I don't have this and I don't do this, and why isn't this coming and why isn't this coming? And I can't remember if we said this, in the sidebars or on the thing, but we're all saying, like, you don't know, like something didn't fall into place for you. You don't know why it didn't. There's so many other aspects that, listen, this didn't fall into place for you now because there's something bigger happening. And I know I gave the example of Adam Lambert, and he didn't win American Idol or whatever, but had he won, he wouldn't have been in the position, he would have been in the contract, and he wouldn't have been in the position to join Queen. Like, hello, like how freaking awesome is that?
Yeah.
We are thinking of things with our limited minds and what we want, because this is how we think it should happen. Just like with money. Well, money only comes to me with my job. Or like, no, it can just flow to you. There's infinite everything, and probably not going to matter because money's going to fall anyway. But nonetheless, that's a whole other something. But it's that whole point of start to let go of, and I really just like this word, start to let go of the constructs of what life is, what you believe life is, and allow yourself to just be open to bringing in anything and everything that needs to come in for you that is in your highest. Let that higher intelligence guide you, the human form. And when you let go and you really trust, and even before you trust, like just do these little things. Okay, just show me this, or show me how to trust, or show me that you're working with me. You'll get these little weird things. And it's really up to us to be aware and to recognize these things too. That's the thing. People are like, well, I didn't get a message. Say, bring it to me clear.
Yeah.
Because it will bring, and trust me, for me anyway, when I finally was aware of it, I was like, oh shit, I remember you giving that to me weeks ago. Now I get it. Sort of like what Tracy said. Oh, no, I thought I got it for, oh no, oh, now I really got it. And then trust me, later on, I'm like, no, now I really got it. And you keep.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you don't. You totally don't get it.
Yeah. And you know what? When we've got to stop thinking when we perceive something fell apart,
Yes.
get into the habit. Okay, this is in my best and highest good. So, and then just ask for that guidance and say, okay, show me. And instead of going, and getting all that dense energy again, you go, ooh, interesting. I wonder what the land of infinite possibility is going to show me because this wasn't in my best and highest good. That's all you, if you get into the habit of saying, oh, okay, stay in that neutral energy. This just wasn't in my best and highest good. Okay, cool. Get into the curiosity of it again and say, ooh, then I wonder what this means. And getting out of that, again, don't go in the history files. And if you catch yourself in the history files, oh, wait a minute, my history files are limited. That's what I tell myself. Oh, I don't go to the history, the limited history file. I want infinite intelligence to come in and I want what's in my best and highest good. And that's how you direct your own energy. Practice directing your own energy. And if what you're seeing, remember today's already been manifested, what you're seeing is not what you want, then get into that. Okay, what do I want to create? And stay in that, that we call innocent curiosity and say, "Ooh, wouldn't it be fun?" And that's play the wouldn't it be fun game. Like, wouldn't it be fun to be at the beach? Wouldn't it be fun? And keep it open and just really the more you recognize when you're in that history file and that I need to know and I need to know details and I need to control the outcome. The second you try to control your own outcome, you are restricting. the energy, versus, oh, I am open. I am totally open to whatever is in my best and highest good. And then again, show me, you know, I just ask for evidence. And if you say, but don't get in the habit of saying, I can't hear my guides too, because now you're blocking them. And I find that, I think Renee, you touched also on, people saying, I don't know what my gifts are. There's a lot of people with amazing gifts and they're unconscious. They're unconsciously using their gifts. And those of you who, if your friends tell you you're such a bright light when you walk in the room, hello, that's your energy. The ones that say, oh my gosh, I'm going to call so and so because, when I don't, they're very calming. I feel safe when I'm with you. You're carrying that. So listen to like those type of compliments and know that's tied to your gift, and just be in that space and hold that space, and and from there, then this is a whole other episode, but that's where we learn to expand and really start to and get into the level where Tracy was like co-creating. And that's the fun, like this, all of this crap we're all going through and have been going through is all because we're going to be open to create and to co-create and to experience only the energies that are based on, love, golden energy, all of this beauty, and none of it is in fear and lack and limitation. And so even when the perceived shit's hitting the fan, it's really not. It's actually, okay, that needs to get out of my way because it's that wasn't meant for me to have it right now. And sometimes it's just a right now thing.
I want to share something real quick because Renee, you mentioned about the signs, and this is just coming to me. I just this morning, a friend's having medical stuff go on, and I jokingly sent a text saying that's why I keep getting my massages and facials and stay away from the doctors. I was being funny, not saying to stay away from doctors. I'm just saying my wellness program to stay healthy is facials and massages. So here's what's cool. When I was going to my facial with Kate, I really maybe opened up 2 emails. I couldn't even tell you what email it was in, but they referenced the word Crystallis. So everyone knows that's the cocoon, right? You're the cocoon before the butterfly. So then short drive to get the facial. And it's funny because I don't listen to music all the time, but I was like, oh, I kind of feel like rocking out to some music. Turn on the radio. The song's called Butterflies, and it speaks of being in a Crystallis. Okay,
Crystallis.
come on.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what are the odds? That's complete transformation. Wrap your head around that used to be a caterpillar and it now can fly, and it's this beautiful, colorful butterfly. So that's huge. So I go in, I get all this intelligence, higher intelligence. I get in the car. It's 1:11 and my miles are 11,111. Now here's what's funny. If you would have asked me on my ride up how many miles were on my car, I couldn't
No
have
idea.
told you if it was 5,000 or 50,000 because I don't look at my miles.
Right.
So why my eye was drawn, that's my message that this is available for the world. Those weren't messages for me. I know all this. I got it. I'm not really, so it's pretty exciting. That's for everyone. That's for you. Like we are transforming at a level and a layer that is kind of incomprehensible. So that was not, oh,
No,
look,
it was your guides. Yeah, but your guides were showing you, okay, Tracy, here's the thought, and here's the chrysalis, here's the butterfly. And that kind of like for those who need confirmation, but we trust it because we've been practicing it. But for those, if you don't trust it, when you see something like that, don't go, like, who the heck looks at their odometer when they're driving? Nobody. But she was drawn to that at that moment to put those pieces together. And when you're drawn to look at something like that, don't discount it. It's like that's how you build it, right? That's how you build your skill. It's like building a muscle. I love that story.
I know, me too. And yeah, I just say when things don't go right, just remember that's because something bigger and better is coming your way. So that's what we always say, here, at home, something, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't that? I'm like, because something bigger and better is coming, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. And it always is, because not only are we putting the energy to that, but really that's what happens because our limited mind thinks this is going to be so awesome. This little thing, like, oh my, it's going to be so great. And then it doesn't come through. Like, oh my God, why? Because this was trying to come. They're like, why are you playing small? This is trying to come to you. So stay open for that aspect, knowing it's always in your highest and best good, and bigger and better.
Love that. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, on that note, always say something this or something better. That is what you want, this or something better. Because the
Mhm.
something better is really what you want. You just can't even see it or perceive it. So we
Right.
love being in I know nothing land. That's our bliss. I know nothing. Show me. All right. Well, ladies, thank you for an amazing episode. I'm loving these talks. We're really cooking now. And thank you, everyone, for our new subscribers. And hit that like and share if it resonates. And I'll see you, ladies, next episode.
I
Bye.